Let's say you create a Pinterest pin in Canva, or a PDF you want to sell, or even a Canva template you're thinking about listing on Etsy. But can you actually do that legally? Because the answer is, it depends. And I know that's frustrating, but the real issue is most advice stops there and doesn't explain why it depends. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through this in a way that actually makes sense using real examples so that you can stop guessing and start feeling confident using Canva in your business and products you want to sell. Hi, I'm Liz Stapleton, an attorney turned online business owner, and I help bloggers, course creators, and digital product sellers legally protect their business without the overwhelm. Now, a quick note, this video is meant to be for educational purposes only, and it's based on Canva's current published terms at the time of recording. This is not individualized legal advice, and Canva's policies can change, so always double check their current terms if something is business critical. So, let's keep this simple and try to use kind of one example throughout. Let's say you create a Pinterest pin in Canva. You add your own text, use your brand colors, and grab a photo from Canva's library. The final design, you created it, but that photo inside it, that's not yours. And that's where most confusion starts. The design can be yours without every piece inside of it being yours. Because when you use Canva elements, you're not buying them, you're using them under a license. So, can you use that Pinterest pin for your business? Absolutely. You can post it, use it on Pinterest, use it to promote your blog or products. That's exactly the sort of thing Canva is built for. And this is important because using Canva in your business is usually not the problem. The problem shows up when you change how the design is being used. So let's take that same Pinterest pin, and instead of posting it, you now decide to sell it as a Canva template. This is where things change because you're no longer just using the design, you're giving someone else access to it and potentially access to the Canva elements inside it. And that's where the licensing can matter a lot more. So here's the easiest way to understand Canva commercial use. Typically, using Canva designs in your business to create marketing materials, totally fine. Packaging Canva content for others to reuse is where restrictions can show up. It's not to say you can't do it, you just need to be aware of the sort of nuances around it. And that's really a core distinction that people miss. So, not all Canva content plays by the same rules. At a high level, you see free content, pro content, and then there's some special categories as well. So keeping this simple, free content is super flexible. It's still not yours to resell as is, but it can be used in your own designs and in templates you want to sell. So use it in a blog post, use it in a lead magnet, but selling it, the element by itself, is not allowed. So if for this pin template, the only kind of Canva element in there is a photo, so long as that is under the free content, you can sell that template, so long as the design itself is yours. With pro content, this is where people can get tripped up because pro content is licensed to use inside a design. You can use it for a YouTube video thumbnail, you could use it as a PDF or on a sales page, but you can't extract it and sell the elements that are pro in Canva as though they were your own. And this matters a lot for modern creators because if you're using video clips, audio, photos, those are almost always pro content and the inside a design rule applies. Now, I mentioned there are some special categories, and this is the part most people skip and where things can actually go wrong. Some Canva content has extra restrictions, and this matters a lot more now because so many creators are using video and audio, which, spoiler, are oftentimes special categories. So, Canva music and audio, this is a big one. Canva music is meant to be used as sort of like background audio in videos. You can use it as background in your YouTube video or for something you're promoting within your YouTube video, but you can't use it as a podcast intro. You can't sell or distribute the audio alone. Another special category is, branded content. Content tied to brand or partnerships. Often those are for personal use only, so don't use them in products, marketing, or anything implying endorsement. Then you have things like Disney's licensed content. Again, that's only allowed for personal use. You cannot be including it in templates you plan to sell. There's no business use allowed. So, an important rule, if your design includes multiple types of content, so we're talking free, pro, or special category, the most restrictive rule applies to the entire thing. So, going back to our example, the Pinterest pin, totally fine to use. Now you turn it into a template. You need to ask what type of Canva content is inside of it. Can someone access or reuse that content? And are you effectively reselling Canva assets? Because selling your design is not the same as selling Canva's content. If the value is your layout, your structure, your strategy, that's one thing. But If you are taking a Canva pin template and turning around to sell it yourself, that's violating Canva's terms. All right, now let's switch it again. It's the same design, but now it's for a client. Can you generally do that? Generally, yeah. But the client still has to use the design in a way that follows Canva's terms. And you're responsible for how it was created. So best practice, don't stand over elements. Don't treat Canva assets like stock you can redistribute. And be careful with branding, resell, or product use. Now, let's take a second and talk about logos. So you can absolutely create a logo in Canva. But if it includes Canva elements, which in most cases it does, you likely don't have exclusive rights to it, which means you can't actually trademark it. So a Canva logo can work as a starter brand, but it's not the same as a fully protectable brand asset. What do you actually need to check? Instead of memorizing Canva's terms, kind of run yourself through these questions. What am I making? Am I using my own content or Canva content? What type of content is it? Is it inside a design or standalone? Am I selling it, sharing it, or just using it? And do I need to check Canva's current terms? That's it. So let me show you real quickly how to check licensing on elements. So let's go back to our example one last time. You're posting a Canva pin, usually fine. Creating a PDF, usually fine. Selling templates, depends on the kind of content included in the design. Using Canva music for videos, probably fine. Using Canva music in a podcast, not allowed. Creating a logo, usable but not possible to trademark. That's why this isn't a simple yes or no question when the question is, can I use Canva in my business? It depends. It depends on what you're making, what's inside it, and how you're using it. If you're not sure whether your business is missing something important legally, I created a free guide covering the 5 most common legal blind spots online entrepreneurs overlook, and you can grab that in the description below. You don't need to be afraid of using Canva in your business, but you also shouldn't assume every design can be used in every way. The smarter approach is simple. Understand what's inside your design, check the license, and make sure your use matches what's allowed. Because when you understand the rules, you can create, sell, and publish with a lot more confidence.